I almost said good morning. Well, you probably, so if you're Mountain Time or Pacific Time, good morning. If you're Central Time or Eastern Time, afternoon. So, been a little bit since did a little post in here. So I'm going to explain something, and I would love feedback on this because I don't know unless you guys let me know. So I really have a hard time with talking heads who get on and talk, say, twice a week, just because that's their schedule. They're going to do it twice a week, whether or not they've got something good to say or not. I don't like to get on. I don't really like to talk unless I've got something that I've been inspired with, or something that I've been challenged with, or something that I think has value. So I really don't have a quote unquote schedule that I come on here on because I want it to be valuable, and I want it to be relevant, and so if you think I should have a definitive schedule, like, hey, Scott's on every Thursday or every other Thursday, or if you think I should just go with when I feel inspired or when something comes up that I think is relevant, let me know. Just comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. After all, I don't do this just for me. I want you guys to get some value out of this too. So today, I spent the last 2 weeks in the deer stand. And the thing I love about hunting for me, especially deer hunting in the woods, we sit in stands up here, is that it gives me time to sit and think. And when I'm alone with my thoughts like that for that long a period of time, it's just awesome. And so one of the things that I was thinking about was excuses. And I titled this "Excuses Are Weapons," but I wanted to look at just the definition real quick of what an excuse is. So if you're looking at it from a verb standpoint, an excuse is an attempt to lessen the blame of attaching to a fault or an offense to seek to defend or justify. If you're looking at it as a noun, it's a reason or explanation put forward to defend or justify a fault or offense. So a reason to justify a fault. And I titled this, obviously, that excuses are weapons. And here's what they are. They're a weak man's weapon. So I'm just going to call a spade on this. They're a weak man's weapon. An excuse is something that you come up with to justify a fault or justify an offense that you've done or given or something that you haven't done. That's what an excuse is. It's whether it's being what I want to say, being timely with doing stuff with your kids, being present with your kids, doing your best in your job, paying attention to your health, going to the gym. Let's face it, a lot of us give the excuse of I'm too busy, or I don't have enough time, or I'm tired, when in reality, the truth is if you go to work out, you're going to have more energy and you're going to be able to get more stuff done. So that's what excuses are, right? We all give them. Heck, I give them daily. It's whether or not they're ruling your life, because it can be a weapon. They are weapons. They're weak man's weapons. They're the weapons of people who don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to own up to the truth, what they should do, what they want to do, and why they aren't doing it. I guess that's the big thing, why they aren't actually doing it. So they make it up an excuse. So we're going to go over 3 things, just real quick, in how this looks. Excuses are weak man's weapons because, number one, they're lies, right? 9 times out of 10, an excuse is simply a lie to justify what you did or didn't do, right? If we say, I didn't have enough time to go work out. No, every now and then that may be true. There may be, life happens, and you may have a day where something happens that takes precedent. That's part of what's being called an adult, right? Certain things have to happen as an adult in your life that need attention. So that's not an excuse. That's just a reality. The excuse is when you choose something over going to work out. So it's a lie. And that's where excuses come in. The excuses are the lie. Reality isn't a lie. Reality is just what happens in life. So, number one, excuses are lies. Number 2, these excuses, these lies allow us to shirk responsibility. So whether that responsibility is to ourselves, to our family, to our job, to whatever it is, it makes us feel better about half-assing it, if you will. It makes us feel better about not taking ourselves or what we plan to do or what we said we'd do seriously, right? So again, it's a weapon against you being the best you can be. That's where this weapon piece comes in. That's where excuses can be a weapon. It's a weapon against that you're using against yourself. Now, take a think about that for just sit back and think about that. Excuses are weapons that we use against ourselves. It's like having a knife in a fight and then just turning it against yourself and stabbing yourself and say, well, let's just cut to the chase and get it over with, right? Makes no sense. So why do we give ourselves the authority to make excuses and lie to ourselves? And because it allows us to shirk that responsibility and gives us a little bit of feel good being able to do it. So 1, they're lies. 2, they allow us to shirk responsibility. 3, what else are excuses? Keeps us in patterns. Excuses keep us in comfortable patterns. I mean, so I quit chewing February 20th, 2017, so I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary of that. That was a pattern. That's a habit. That was a pattern. Very comfortable pattern and habit to be in. I mean, that's a little extreme for some things, but it was what I was struggling with. And I made excuse after excuse why I didn't want to quit. I enjoyed it. Really, I enjoyed having to carry around a cup. Well, okay, now to fix that excuse, then I learned to just gut the stuff. Okay, that's really good for you. It's that piece of allowing ourselves to be stuck in these self-destructive patterns. That's ridiculous. When you stop and you really start to here's one of the problems in life that we go through. For whatever reason, most of us just don't stop and think. We don't stop and think things through. Life is happening nowadays, unfortunately, for some of us, at such a pace that we don't have or we don't take the time to just sit down and think about things that are going on in our lives. And if we thought about this stuff and the process behind an excuse, how it's we're lying to ourselves, they're lies, how it's a weapon, we're using a weapon against ourselves, how they just allow us to shirk the responsibility, and how it keeps us in patterns, how we're self-destructively keeping ourselves in a destructive pattern. If you really sat and thought about it, you go, why am I allowing myself to do this to myself? It makes no sense. Just like I'm an educated man, I knew that chewing was one of the worst things I could do for my health, yet I still did it because it was a pattern, it was a habit. Excuses, right? So it's a real short one today. I just want to challenge all of you, man, woman, whatever it is, to start looking at and just when you want to do something and you don't do it and you give an excuse, don't just give the excuse and move on. Just look at it just a little bit. Take just a little bit of reflection time, and when that excuse first comes out, and say, is that an excuse or is it a reality? An excuse is a lie. It allows us to shirk responsibility, and it keeps us in a pattern. A reality is something came up that needed more attention, and as an adult and as in life, you need to. That's the right thing to do. For example, I want to go to the gym. My kid calls and says, "Hey, Dad, I've got an opportunity. I've got a ton of homework tonight." Okay, so, well, he needs my help. Okay, so I'm going to be there to help him with his homework. I had plans of going to the gym. Two of my sons work out. My one son sits and does homework in the truck, or while I'm working out, sits and does homework. So I can either say, "Oh, okay, well," make the excuse that, "Well, you know what, I'm too busy." In this case, it's a reality. He needed help, so I'm going to help him with it. Now, I can look at the rest of my night. Can I now adjust the rest of my schedule that night to go work out? That's where it becomes in, is it a reality or is it simply an excuse? Can I sacrifice something else to get what I want done? If I can't, because this needs more attention, that's a reality. If I can, but I just choose not to, that's an excuse. It's a lie. It's keeping us in a pattern, and it's allowing us to shirk responsibility. And it's a weapon we're using against ourselves, and it's a weak man's weapon. All right, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Again, if you get a chance, let me know about the schedule of this stuff, if you will. Like I said before, I love doing stuff when I think it's relevant, when I get inspired, when I think about it, rather than having to try and think of something and just doing something because something needs to be done. Put it in the comments what your thoughts are. After all, a lot of this is just for you guys. So, thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the week. If I'm not on again, have an awesome Thanksgiving. And here's another thing. Post below something you're grateful for this week. Something that, whatever it is, the first thing that comes to your head, the first thought, when you say I'm grateful, first thought, put it in the comment section. I'd love to see that. I'm grateful for the ability to do what I do, to have the family I have, and to live in the nation I live in. So, catch y'all later.